What's good with it, people? What's good? Let's get to it. Gonna do a little breakdown. Little breakdown real quick. So this is a spoiler alert. If you have not seen the movie Backrooms, please do not. You might as well just stop. So this is a spoiler alert. I'm gonna put that in there. But this for everybody that's seen Backrooms, right? Check this out. I came in. Look, I went to the movie theater. I had the notes already, right? So, hey, look, I'm gonna be as I'm talking. But check this out. One of the first things that I noticed about that movie, right, um, was the fact that how it started off, right, as far as the furniture store goes, right. Anybody remember the name of the furniture store? Because what we know about movies is everything is in sequence. So it's called Ottoman, right? Now, anybody go do your research. Don't take my word for it. Go do your research. But if you know anything about the Ottoman Empire, right? The Ottoman Empire was also the empire, right? That was along with the Moorish Empire. The Ottoman Empire is also um, that's also related to the past, to so-called Black history. Okay, the Ottoman Empire. Go do y'all research on the Ottoman Empire. Okay, go do y'all research. Right now, check this out. Let's get to the real shit real quick. When he went into the room, the very first room, the first dark room was distorted. It had a little bit of light up in there. Okay, which ironically, um, we see that again towards the end. It's a little light up in there, right? Now, one of the things that I thought when I was watching this movie, right, is check this out. Even when we go into the her office, right, and if you look at some of the art that was on her room, in her room, in her office, I should say, it was the past. Okay, it was the past. Now it might have looked like the future, but it was actually the past. Okay, it was the past. Now, um, when he first goes into the room, right, he sees the bird has failed. Right, the bird has failed, indicating. Right now, this is just me. This is indicating. This is my what you call it. It wasn't an eagle, right? I don't know the exact bird, but to me, it was saying that an empire has failed, right? Now, we could say, well, they could be talking about the Ottoman Empire because it did fall, right? But if we was to pay attention to it, right, that bird also represent life and death. Okay, it was one scene where the bird fell down, appeared to be dead, and then flew off again. Right now, as you see, when he's in those rooms, he has a choice to go to any room that he wants to. Okay, he has a choice to go to any room that he wants to. Okay, any room he wants to, he can go to any room. Okay, it's already set up for him. Now, think about that for a second. Think about if you are a new empire and you happen to find an establishment that's already set up. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to start doing your research, right? You're going to start searching for things, right? Okay. So, and as you can see, it's going through um, the rooms. You see the marketing where they have the credit, right? Now, check this out. One of the things that I just thought about, even in the beginning of the store, right? Now, you can look at that, the signs, however you want to look at them. You can look at the signs as saying, okay, well, that could be the slave trade that they were talking about, right? The furniture, right? Remember on the signs in the beginning of the store, it has like 65% off. It's in there, you know what I'm saying? But it has the signs up in there, right? It has the signs. Now this is in the front of the store. This is the entrance. When you walk in, you see the signs, right? Then even in the back rooms, you still see the credit, right? Marketing, right? Now, he was trying to find something. Now, one thing that she said, right, which came up a couple of times was loops, okay? Which was loops, okay? Now, um, in I'm looking at my notes, so you heard me go over the pictures of the past, right? Now, remember, what she had him do was reenact, right? When he reenacted, I can't front. When he reenacted the scene with him and his wife, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. But when he reacted, right? Remember, he was drunk when he started to sit up here and, he was drunk. He had the bottle, he was pouring up shit. And I'm pretty sure everybody thought he was in his house. That nigga was living in the store. Okay? Times was bad. Nobody was coming into the store. Now, you notice when he went, when he was doing a commercial, right? He does his commercial. His commercial is a pirate. Now understand this. I'm gonna be jumping back and forth. This not gonna be too long because I don't wanna be too long on it. But check this out. One of the things too that you have to do is do your research on this. We were the first pirates. Okay? What I mean is, yes, black people were the first pirates. Okay? We knew the seas. Okay? Christopher Columbus had to have a Moor with him to navigate the sea. Okay, so he didn't know the seas. Okay, he didn't know the seas. So I say that to say the pirate, right? Which we will see the pirate will come back to haunt them, right? So as the Ottoman Empire is falling, you have the signs, you have the marketing. They're in a whole other dimension. Okay. The further that he goes, he's going into a whole other dimension. All right. Now, in that session that he had with his therapist, one of the things that you see is honesty versus cruelty. Okay. Honesty versus cruelty. Now, how much of that he was saying, because everybody has a truth, but how much of that it was saying, you know, as far as when he was going, when they were doing the reenactment, right? Now, check this out. They were talking about the Sultan, right? And in there, remember that as he is making a commercial. He asked him, he said, "What are you, a sultan or a king?" Right? I forget, a sultan or a king, or a sultan or a pirate. I forget which one he asked. Right? Now, he says, every person deserves a throne. Right? And in the background, one of the things that you see is it says on sale and everything must go. Right? Now, this had me thinking about furniture stores such as IKEA. Or, in the 90s, furniture stores was popping. My mom stayed at furniture stores getting stuff. Different things at different furniture stores, right? Now, let's get to it. Let's get to it. We not done yet. We not done. Now, he found a portal, right? Because that's all to me that was. It was a portal, right? Every time he went down, you notice, every time he went down, it would be the same. So he was just going into an alternate universe that really was the same. It was just different details that was different, right? Now, watching this, people might get confused with what was going on when you see stuff stuck in the ground. What my perception was is they were burying on top of it. Okay, you were building on top of it. My bad. You were building on top of the burial of things that was already created, and it just it see through. As far as you go, you keep going down, 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 down. Right now, we noticed Hollywood had a little spin in here. Let me tell you how Hollywood has a little spin in here. Because remember when he did his commercial, the white man does his commercial. The same white man that he takes the mashed potatoes or rice, whatever that was in them. Remember he said, you can eat them. Okay? You can eat them. Okay? Now, this is giving me, right? Now think about this. We have a movie coming out next week called Disclosure, right? Now, everybody, and of course, we see that they have released some files, right? A lot of files, right? But one of the things that has me thinking is, what if they disclosed not necessarily aliens, right? But what if they disclosed new lands? Think about that and ponder on that for a second. What if they was going to disclose new lands, right? Now, once again, we seen the falling of the bird twice. He seen it the first time when it was dead, then it flew, right? Um, the first room that he went into, right now, this is going to be controversial. We're going to see what the director has to say. But what was crazy is the image that they had of, my friend said caveman. I said it was Jesus, right? Because the cardboard looked like Jesus, right? Now, the idea of a caveman, a idea too, right? The reason why I said Jesus is because the recording was speaking Arabic, right? And as he's going into the room, right, he sees the image. He's trying to get to the source. He knows it's a recording. He sees the wire. He's trying to look, right? He's trying to sit up here and find the source of where it's coming from, right? And that's us having an experience. So you can even look at him having an experience, right? Think about that. Everybody that went down there was having some type of experience, right? Now, um, they were using the image to convey whatever message that that recording was trying to sit up here and say, right? Another thing, he said the devil is in the details, right? The devil is in the details. Now, also what this movie exposed was what could be underground, what could be in these old buildings that they no longer use, right? There's a lot. I'm pretty sure you could drive down any old city street and there's a lot of old buildings that they don't even fucking use. It is fenced up, but they don't use it. What are they doing with the buildings? It's still there, right? Um it was an experiment, right? That situation was an experiment and it was getting studied. At the same time, real stuff is going on, right? Now, I'm not going to give y'all too much of the movie, right? I don't want to give y'all too much of the movie. Next week, I'm also going to do one on disclosure, right? I'm going to do one on disclosure. But Backrooms, to me, it opened up the door to portals that that are close to us. Okay, a portal that could be close to us that we can access, right? Now, it's funny. It's funny because as I was watching this movie, right, my partner said that he said that he feels that something big is gonna happen before Disclosure Day comes out, right? And it's funny because as I was watching this movie is giving me weird vibes, right? It was just giving me weird vibes. It was giving me vibes like if I would have known what I know now back then when I was, in my teenage years. You know what I'm saying? But experience and experiments is what we seen in this, right? You seen he was wanting to know more about what was down there that he got his team hurt, right? Now, what was real crazy is when he's talking to the woman, right? We're going to skip to the end. Let's skip to the end real quick, right? The end. Let me take a puff real quick, right? It go like this. I think, right, that the ends signified them, right, being able to make another her, right? That's what I think the end, right? It signified making another her. Or her, right? Or her was trying to have an experience, right? They made her have the experience, right? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Cause the end is really it's interesting, and I would love to hear. I have not, and I don't really look at movie breakdowns, right? I don't do that, but I might have to look at a movie breakdown, the end, right, just to see. But look, man, I'm out. Peace. Y'all have a good night.